And the thing that I dislike is that it seems like they're going with she's better than the Hulk at being the Hulk because she's a woman. Like, really? Like, that's it. That's what you wanted to base the show on. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Now, let me tell you exactly why. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking the thumbnail. Today, we're going to be talking about She-Hulk episode number 1. I got a chance to sit down and watch it. We're going to talk about the likes and the dislikes and what do we think this show is going to do overall. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. We are so close to reaching our goals. At the time of recording, we only need 4 subscribers, 4 people to click that button and help me to reach that 1,000 goal. I would deeply appreciate it. We're gonna talk about the show, and as we talk about the show, I'm focused on making a distinction between who I am as a critiquer and a person who talks about TV shows and movies. And I wanna make sure that I differentiate myself from other audiences who also critique things in the way that I'm going to critique this. Getting into it, the likes, right? So the CGI in this episode did not look nearly as bad as it did in the trailers. I did notice that there was significantly more normal Hulk than there was She-Hulk. I think that was on purpose, that was intentional. I like the banter and the way that they go back and forth between Banner and his cousin. Like, it really makes sense that they are like family members who've been knowing each other for so long. I enjoyed their bickering and just the way that they interacted in all the moments of the show. There were some really hard-hitting sentimental moments, and I'm glad that we got to see that from Banner as the Hulk, smart Hulk, and seeing how he's still kind of grieving Tony and talking about, we worked together building this place, and it was my dog and we were here together and da-da-da-da. It was cool. It showed some real emotional depth to the long-lasting stretch of history that we now know as the MCU. So I really enjoyed to see that, and I think that the show is overall gonna be a good show that's gonna have a really high and like long-running trajectory. Like, I see good things coming from this show. I laughed at it even though I didn't plan on laughing at it. I actually came in with the mindset like, man, I don't know what to expect, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high. And I was pleasantly surprised overall with the show. But when we get into the dislikes, there are 2 dislikes. One is minor, the other one is a major dislike, but it's not gonna stop me from enjoying the show. First dislike would be the fourth wall breaking that goes on in the show. I didn't expect that, although I knew that it would be there. I just didn't know it would be so like right on the nose, like really telling you this is a lawyer show and this is the focus. And let me explain you to my backstory before we get into all the lawyer stuff. Like, I didn't expect that to be the mold that this show fit into. I guess, it's not something that I really was anticipating being a big part of the show, and it feels like it's gonna be a pretty big part of the show. So there's that. The other part that I really, really dislike about this episode and about the whole premise of She-Hulk at this moment is that she's being marketed as better than the Hulk in almost every way. We saw that in the trailers, and then we see it in the show. And the thing about it is that, she learns to control the rage and the Hulk in, Hulk out way faster. And the thing that I dislike is that it seems like they're going with she's better than the Hulk at being the Hulk because she's a woman. Like, really? Like, that's it. That's what you wanted to base the show on. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Now, let me tell you exactly why. In the show, she goes Hulk 3 times initially. The first time she does it, she passes out. She doesn't remember what happened as she's running through the woods. The next time she does it is outside the bar. She freaks out on some guys. She goes Hulk. She passes out. She wakes up in Mexico. The third time she goes Hulk, she's totally in control. Personalities are merged, and she's just good to go. The thing about it is, right at that moment, he speaks, Hulk, smart Hulk speaks to the fact that there's genetically some things different about her that enable her to adapt to the gamma and undergo the transformation easier. I would have liked that to be the sticking point. But later on in the episode, you get her kind of arguing with Banner and going in and basically saying, I'm better than you because I'm a woman, and I've always managed my rage and my anger because women can't show their emotions or they're gonna be judged for being this or being that or being this or being that. I hate to say it, but it seems and feels very lazy and weak, like a weak excuse, because that same description or that same like, oh, I have to manage my emotions, because people are gonna call me difficult or emotional or being, whatever. A bunch of different demographics of people can make that same complaint, and it doesn't enable them to like manage powers or anything like that better than anyone else. I think specifically to Terry Crews. If y'all all remember, Terry Crews was sexually assaulted at a party in front of his wife, and his response was, well, I couldn't lash out in anger and choke him or beat him or punch him like I really wanted to, because then I would be labeled as the angry black man and I'd never work again. It's like, yeah, I guess, if that's what you want to go with, if that's what you want to tell yourself, that's fine. But the idea that there was a nugget there of science in the science fiction show, and you decide, let's not talk about the genetics that's different in her that make her more adaptable. Let's just make it because she's a woman. Feels lazy. Take the time, go into the science. Like, I feel like that's just better than saying, oh, she did it because she's a woman. Because if you take that woman out and you put a black woman in, black woman could read that same line. You take black woman out, take white woman out, put black man in, he could read the same line, and it all translates. Like, everyone can say that. And that goes to the normal group of men. I hope that people are still with me watching the video at this point. But normally there's a group of men online. Me and my producer call them the He-Man woman haters. They hate everything that women are a part of. Every time that women have women-centric shows, women-centric superheroes, secret agents that's fighting and shooting and beating up people, you have the He-Man woman haters club that come out and they malign everything that has to do with women-centric stories or women-centric movies or just anything. But I'm not doing that here. Like, I'ma still enjoy the show. I'ma still watch the show. I think the show is good. I just don't like that part. I hate to come out and say that on a review and on film, because people would take that and then say, look, he aligns with this group. Well, maybe on this one issue, we might agree. I'm sure our reasoning is very different. And I would also say I'm more than certain that we would not align on many other issues. That is where I fall with this. I think the show is good. I enjoyed the show. I laughed quite hard at the post-credit scene. It was great. I think the show is gonna do well throughout its run. The CG is not nearly as big of a problem as we thought it was going to be. All that being said, I don't like the fourth wall breaks, and I don't like the whole, I'm better because I'm a female. Like, it just feels lazy to me. Let me know if you think I'm wrong or I'm foolish or anything else in the comment section. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, go watch something good.